Well, nice to see you guys again. Well, nice to meet you again. I'm Jay from 2AT. This is Jenny. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, hello everyone. Good to see you. This is my second time of filming this. But I'm Jenny and I am a teacher in 2AT and very nice to see you.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. I have very interesting questions and actually quite a lot of questions to ask today. 제니 선생님 하면은 사실은 여러 나라에서 이렇게 유학을 다녀오신 걸로 저희가 이렇게 다들 알고 있거든요. 그래서 제가 알기로는 초중고는 중국에서 유학을 하신 걸로 알고 있어요. 중국 유학에 대해서 간략하게만 먼저 이렇게 설명해 주실 수 있으실까요?
네, 유치원부터 고1까지는 중국에서 중국도 남부 쪽에서도 살아봤고 북부 쪽에서도 살아봤고 이래가지고 다양한 중국에도 문화도 경험할 수 있었고 그 다음에 이제 미국으로 고등학교를 가가지고 고등학교를 미국에서 마쳤습니다.
Okay. Well, in China, from what I heard, there's two different languages.
Yes.
Is it true?
Yes, Cantonese and Mandarin.
Mandarin and Cantonese, right?
Yes.
만다린이랑 Cantonese in Korean.
광동어랑 그다음에 표준어라고 이렇게 많이들 얘기하시죠.
Is it like 서울말 and 그냥 사투리, or is it just completely different language?
It's completely different language. Like personally, I only speak Mandarin. I do not speak Cantonese. I only can cut the number.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Right. Can you speak Mandarin?
我会说汉语。
Okay. Well, that's good. Let's move on. So you said you moved to the States.
Yes.
In high school.
Yeah.
Why did you move? That's a sudden change, like China to States. That's big change.
That's true.
Can I ask you why you moved?
Because when I was in my first year of my high school, actually I was deciding which university I should go and prepare myself to.
Oh, okay.
And so I was thinking, should I go to like Korean university or Chinese university? And at that point, actually, there was a friend of my father, my dad, actually recommended me that how about you go and, go to the high school in the States, then you can broaden your horizon. Maybe you can have another option to go to university in the States. And if that is the case, then it will be really beneficial for your future. And so actually I got some scholarship for my high school, and that's why,
But you planned things out pretty early, like first year in your high school, you thought about that already, and then that's a big change. Like just going to States from Korea is a big change, but from China to States, it's a completely different language and different cultures, right? So, 대단하신데요. How'd you adapt to that culture? I mean, it's China. Well, let's first talk about the cultures in China.
Okay. I think it's more close to American culture because, China, of course, we like Korea and China, we share quite similar sentiment, like because we have like a historical tie, from back in the, thousands of years ago.
Right.
However, I think because of the language similarity in Chinese and English really made the hierarchical, those kinds of sentiment, cultural, sentiment different. For example, in China we don't have I guess in Chinese people.
Let me ask this question: are you Korean or Chinese?
I sometimes also use we, we in back in the States.
Okay.
Anyway,
the Chinese culture is pretty close to the Western culture, and a lot of things. It's because of their language similarity, right?
Certainly.
Was it? No, I'm sorry.
Because we don't have Chinese people do not use 존댓말, and that's why and it's more I guess people are more equal in a sense, but I'm not letting the Korean culture down though. Like there's certain these kinds of culture for a reason, but just I guess in in China, we don't have like a more of a like we don't consider the age gap a lot. Yeah, when we in terms of like friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't talk about age gap. Yeah.
What about States? So, States, you spent your high school life over there in the States, right? How was it like to study?
It was really, really, really tough at the beginning, and I'm sure many people who are planning to go to the study overseas in like America or in like New Zealand or other English-speaking country, I'm sure you will certainly face a lot of difficulties. I'm sure, but if you overcome, like if you go over that big mountain that is right in front of you, there's like a totally different horizon opening up for you, because now you are able to make so many people all around the world because you are able to speak English. So yeah, don't be afraid, and that was my experience.
So you tried hard too.
Of course, it's a big struggle, and I hustle a lot. And I try to put myself out there and try to participate in as many activities as possible so that I can make friends. Actually, I was part of the basketball team when I was in high school. Yeah.
You play basketball too?
I was a bench warmer, but but I made a lot of good friends there.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
Well, after spending so many years in other countries, now that for university you came back to Korea, right? So wasn't it hard for you to come back to Korea and adapt to this culture?
It was really difficult because, even though I didn't spend a lot of time in the States, but I also lived in China, and the cultural, Chinese culture is really different from Korean as well. So yeah, how I treat the elderly people. I don't know. I think you experienced the same as well, right?
I experience all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm just generally a very polite person to everybody. So just kidding. The Korean culture itself is very unique, and that you always have this 존댓말 and 어른들을 대하는 방법들이 있다 보니까
맞죠.
I think that's the biggest challenge for us, like how you should not do something. Like there are a lot of things that you shouldn't do in front of 어른들. So right? Can you share one of the episode you had?
Sure. Actually, I get to meet some of my father's friends, and also we had a pretty big lunch and together, and I was being all polite but not in Korean way, but in American way. So if you are an American kid, then if you met somebody who is older, and then it will be better for you to be more active and approach them first and give them a handshake and things like that. Actually, that's a legit good kid, a type of good kid in America. So when I met some of my my father's friends, I went up and I say I was 20 years old, 19 or 20, and I was oh, good to see you, Mr. Hu, Mr. Choi, Mr. Lee, and things like that. And actually, my Korean was pretty bad at the time. But I was at the lunch table, the older people, they speak to each other and have a good conversation with them, but I would interrupt them in the middle and asking difficult questions, how would you think, what do you think about this politics and things like that. And I thought I was a polite person, but my mom pitched me underneath the dinner table. So yeah, that was a bit awkward situation.
Well, I think that's the struggles that all the 유학생들 experience when they come back to Korea, because it's very it's very different. And when I first came to this 학원, I started to shake hands with everybody.
Sure.
They were all, some of the teachers were thinking, okay, what is this?
Right. Okay.
저도 이제 선생님들이랑 악수를 많이 하고 가깝게 인사를 많이 하는 편인데
Do you hug people?
I do hug people too. Yeah.
You're a hugger.
I don't think I've hugged you, but
no,
I do hug people. But
I'm glad I'm living in Korea instead of States, and I get to meet you here.
So if I hug you guys, it's not because I have any intentions, it's because I grew up in a different culture. So 저도 오해를 샀던 적이 많았고, 아마 외국에서
지금도 사지 않나요?
지금도 많이 사죠. 아마 오해를 많이 하신 분이 아닐까 싶은데. Well, since you do have the experience of coming back to your motherland, can you some tips to kids who graduated English kindergarten,
Sure.
or kid who's returning from overseas? Do you have any tips for them?
Actually, yeah. So when I actually moved to the States, I try to keep using my Chinese, like talking to my Chinese friend. And, for my leisure time, I would read Chinese book and Chinese like poetry and stuff like that. And so that... yeah, so...
A little fancy.
Yeah, I know. But I never read like... Yeah, anyway.
이 나라가 사실은 원래 저희가 it's our region, it's where we're from. So
Yeah, sure.
조금 더 애착을 가지고 보면 좋은 부분들이 많이 있거든요. 처음에 다른 컬처에서 살다가 오면
애착이 없었어요?
그럴
그랬어요?
수도 있다고. 그럴 수도 있다고.
You just keep complaining.
Yeah,
and then like, oh, this is not good. This is like not. Yeah, I guess.
안 좋은 파트들이 더 크게 보이는 경우가 많이 있는 것 같아요. 그래서
그쵸.
어린 친구들은 굉장히
그렇게 생각한 적 없지 않아요?
저는 있어요.
사랑합니다.
그런 경우가 있을 때 조금만 더 멀리서 한국을 보면은 좋은 점이 또 많이 있기 때문에 it takes time to adapt to new culture. So give some time to Korea. So and you will like it.